Homelessness in Los Angeles has come to the forefront in the mayoral election. Listen to how Spencer Pratt plans to fix the crisis. Roll it.
You don't get off these drugs with beds. You need support. You need a real solution. And what's happening, we've done it now, what, for 10 years? Their plan does not work. Their experience is a complete failure. This is not Spencer saying this. This is every single person with eyeballs driving around LA. So it's time to radically go in a new direction with mandatory treatment. And it's going to be incredible. This isn't like a jail. This is a place where people are going to go and have a chance to come back in society.
California gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton joins me now. Steve, you know who he sounds like? He sounds like Rudy Giuliani, who was dealing with a homeless crisis in New York when he became mayor in 1994, and he turned it around 180 degrees. It worked. He said this is the humanitarian response to people using the sidewalks as a bedroom and a bathroom. It's not humanitarian to leave people mired in their own muck.
Exactly. As I've been saying for years, we would never allow someone we love to continue to live in those conditions. So why on earth do we tolerate it for anybody else? The plan that Spencer's been laying out is exactly right. It's very much in line with the plan that I published actually over a year ago, a kind of strategy for the state. And one part of my strategy as governor will be to say to local mayors across our state, because this problem is, of course, largest in LA because it's our largest city, but it's exactly the same kind of problem in every city, not even just the big ones.
Absolutely.
California, I'm on the road the whole time. And I've said, as governor, I will give these mayors a certain amount of time, somewhere between 3 and 6 months, to deal with the problem. And if they don't deal with it, then I will use state law enforcement resources to do it. Now, what you can see from LA is that if Spencer Mayor is elected, as I very much hope he will be, I'm 100% behind him, then at least that's one city I can check off my list as governor, because he'll be taking care of it right there. And
it would be so helpful to have the governor and the mayor working in tandem, going by the same route.
100%. It's very exciting seeing what's happening. I feel this tremendous energy actually across the state, that suddenly we see that change is within reach in California, and it's common sense. And it's interesting that you've got, I mean, we're very different people, different races for governor and for the LA mayor, of course. However, what's interesting is that both of us are outsiders. We've never run for office before.
True.
And yet we're really giving people, I think, that sense of energy that change is possible in California.
Well, there's another outsider, one of your competitors, Tom Steyer, the billionaire, who speaks more like a Marxist than he does a free market capitalist. But his lack of experience seems to be catching up to him on the campaign trail. You made a good transition, not so much him. What do you think his chances? I know he's a competitor. I know you want to downplay his chances, but just speak as objectively as you can about what he's doing.
Yeah. So the one thing I would say about Tom Steyer is that he does seem to have some things that he really believes in and cares about. Now, his positions are far left and would take the state of California even further in the wrong direction. Total disaster. But at least he seems to believe in something. And I think that's probably the basis of his support, as well as, by the way, the $193 million he's already spent on his campaign for governor. Quite extraordinary amount of money. But you contrast that with Javier Becerra, who's leading in the polls. Right now, the polls are pretty much showing myself and Javier Becerra at the top, Tom Steyer somewhat behind. Javier Becerra doesn't believe in anything. He's a machine politician, a career politician in California. He's been a career politician in California for 36 years. He's the puppet of the unions, the activists. He'll do whatever the Democrat machine wants. And therefore, I think that's why you can see them flocking behind him. It seems to me that Tom Steyer's got quite a lot of ground to make up. Maybe he's got another $193 million he can spend in the next week or so. We'll see.
Yeah, well, there is that. His money may make a difference, but you clearly are stirring things up, and so is Spencer. So we'll see what happens. Very interesting race. Thank you so much, Steve. Stay safe on the campaign trail.